Okay, so you guys, thanks for coming. We have, Prince Harbor College represented, and then we have Central Washington University. We have a college and a high school program, and I think Zane, we'll let you go first.
Oh,
And,
okay.
And you should be able to share your screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to. I'll need to share my screen. I got a presentation all ready to go. So let me just pull that up. Are you guys able to see my presentation?
yes.
Perfect. So my name is Zane Morrison. I'm with CWU. I'm our program support supervisor. And so what my job is I essentially see or oversee the day-to-day operations and mostly the registration process with our students and with our instructors. So thanks for joining us this evening. Really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your schedules to join us. So I'm going to kind of just go over a brief overview of our program and kind of the courses that we offer and how your students can get involved. So what is CW College and High School? So what it is it's just this is where CW courses are being offered at your high school. So they're taking these classes with your same high school instructors. Our program itself, we are in about 170 high schools across the state. So it's a pretty well-established program. But it's allowing students to earn the CW credit while maintaining their high school experience, so such as sports and clubs and a social life. Our teachers who are offering the CW courses, they are approved adjunct faculty members. And so what that means is they went through some professional development and a rigorous application process to be approved to teach CW courses. So it's a pretty big deal. Our courses are offered for all students, 9th through 12th grades. The key part is that they have to be enrolled in the course that they're applying for, and then they also have to meet CW prerequisites. And then our program itself, we are NACEP accredited, which is that is the National Alliance of Concurrent Enrollment Programs. And essentially what this means is that our program adheres to national standards. So it's a pretty big deal. So kind of the big question we often get asked is like, why do students want to participate in our program? Well, the biggest is that the students are going to be fulfilling their high school graduation requirements while also starting on a college career. It really allows students to get a head start on their academic and career goals. Our CW credit that they receive through participation with our courses is highly transferable to public and private colleges in and out of the state. Oftentimes the biggest thing we hear is sometimes that can be a little bit challenging out of state, but we always just encourage our students to just do their research. And then like I said, it really just allows students to just get a head start. There's studies out there that students who participate in college and high school, they're able to persist longer in college and have more success when they're introduced to college rigor at earlier stages. Sorry, wrong slide here. So students want to participate because it's going to save the student money in the long run. That's kind of another real benefit. Our classes, so a normal 5-credit class, so let's say it's an English 101 class, which is one of the courses we offer at Elma High School. That class, if the student were to take that on CW's campus, would cost a student $1,500 out of their pocket. And that's not including, the tuition and board and housing and parking and, the fees just kind of add on and on and on. With the new Senate Bill 5048, which was just passed this last year by Governor Inslee, it is now allowing all college and high school courses that are offered at our public in-state public or high schools. It's completely free. So last year, for example, the same course would have cost $300, and now it's just completely free. So it's a huge savings there. Another benefit is if students are looking at Central as a place that they may want to explore attending after they graduate high school, if they want to apply to attend CW, we will actually waive their admissions fee. So that's a savings of about $60. An additional benefit is also we offer what's called the Early Scholars Merit Scholarship. And what that is if a student it doesn't matter how many classes they've taken with us through our program. If they apply to attend CW and they only, and they maintain a B average in their CW classes, which is a 3.0, we will automatically give them $500 if they decide to attend CW. So it's another just a savings opportunity for the student. We often get asked, why choose college and high school versus advanced placement or running start? I'm not someone who's going to advocate for one or the other. I think all AP and running start are both good options for different reasons, and students have choices. Depending on what they have offered to, they can kind of pick and choose to what works best for them. It's kind of the main differences between the programs is that, at least compared to like advanced placement, all the work that a student does with college and high school goes towards earning their grade. It's not determined by a single test where it would be with advanced placement. The other difference is, especially with running start, is that these college class with college and high school allows the students to have more time to be with their instructor that they're familiar with. Running start's a great option for students if they are self-initiating and they're confident in advocating for themselves. On-campus classes are a little bit faster. Schedule can be a little bit challenging. There's transportation that could be another thing to consider. So those are all just kind of things to just think about as your students are kind of exploring their options. But so just kind of things to keep in mind there. I'm going to briefly just talk about the registration process. Most of the registration process itself is pretty much initiated within the classroom itself with the approved adjunct instructor. This is kind of a screenshot of what our homepage or for our registration portal looks like. So our applications are entirely online. And there's also a set period of time where we allow students to register. If a student had never taken a class before, actually, I'm going ahead of myself, sorry. To get started, you just click the high school student tile there on the front page. And that's the website, cihs.cw.edu. Actually, well, sorry, let me, once the student has, if the students have taken classes with us previously, they just sign into their accounts. If they don't, there's an application where they will fill out their bio data information. And it's pretty easy. It will create their account. They'll use their personal email and their personal email and just their personal information. That they'll set an account, they'll set their own password, etc. And then they go in and they select their class. It's really easy. After they register, one thing to keep in mind is we do require parental consent once the student has signed up for a class, and we require each term. The parent consent is required specifically for we just want to ensure even though there's no cost involved, we just want to make sure that our students' parents are informed of that they're signing up to earn college credit and that they just understand the rigor of it. That's kind of the main purpose of the parent consent. The other kind of key caveat is that once a student registers through our system, it will create their MyCW account, which is kind of their primary access point through everything CW. It's a completely separate, this cihs.cw is just completely separate portal. It's only used for registration. So sometimes we get a little bit of confusion there, but that's specifically what it's for. These are just a list of some classes that are available at Elma High School currently. So the biggest ones, we have English 101 and English 102 with Miss Wyota. And then we also have our pre-calculus series, Math 153 and Math 154 with Miss Redout. There is also some potential classes that are in the works. I think there's a few applications in there for theater as well as Finance 174. So those might be future options for next year to keep in mind. Yeah.
We're also thinking about bringing back the political science. Do we need to do anything for that?
I think, is it still going to be Carrie teaching it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we would just have to check to see if he if they've just kept up with their attending of Summer Institute. But as long as they have, then I think we're good there.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll look into that after this, and I'll send you an email.
Okay. Sounds good, thanks.
Yeah, there is placement testing for our classes. So for English 101 specifically, we have what's called a directed cell placement. So it is a requirement for our students to do. And what it is, it's essentially a survey that just asks the student questions about their prior experiences in reading and writing, and it try to gauges their overall preparedness for English 101. When the students are done completing that, they receive a recommendation in whether or not it's a right fit for them. But regardless of what the recommendation is, it's not an adherence or a hinder for the students to sign up for English 101. For us, we mainly just want to make sure that the student has taken that cell placement, and then they understand that, the higher rigor of the course. For our math, or for our pre-calculus series, we do have AccuPlacer testing. And so we have AccuPlacer testing that's set up through CWU, where it will allow students at Elma High School to actually take the placement test at Elma High School. There's no cost for students to take the AccuPlacer through us. So it's kind of a nice, other neat benefit. And then the main thing is there's just a certain prerequisite score for Math 153, that first part that the student will have to meet in order to place into that course. A few just kind of reminders, just kind of general. We have really strict deadlines as far as when students can register, when students can withdraw. We have a deadline for parent consent, all that information. So this link on our website, and I'll send this out in an email as well, but this link just kind of has all of our information on when our deadlines are. The big key reason I bring this up is because the students really need to be the one to communicate with us if they're having questions about their enrollment, if they have questions accessing their MyCW account, etc. And then also, as university students who take our class are considered university students, so they have to adhere to the same policies as all other CW students. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind as well. So after a student registers, all they have to do is just show up for class, do their work, and then they're going to watch their mailbox. The reason why they're going to watch their mailbox is because they're going to receive a username letter. And so this is going to give the students access to MyCWU. And this is kind of their key to all other things CWU. As I kind of mentioned previously, this is separate from the college and the high school portal. Some of the uses of MyCW is that it's going to allow the students to check to ensure that they've actually been enrolled. The students can then check their grades after each term. This is going to be where the students can go to order their transcripts. They can also participate in our student evaluation of instruction, which is kind of an important process to have our teachers become better. And then they can also decide if they want to provide parents with access to their account, or if they want to allow CW to share that information with their parent or guardian. And then also they can access additional support. We have some tutoring available. They have access to our library. The main thing of those, they just have to activate their MyCW account. All MyCW accounts, they expire after 180 days. Or every 6 months. So that's just another kind of thing to keep in mind after the student has activated their account. Real briefly, I'm just going to talk about FERPA, which is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Essentially, what this means is that once a student has enrolled into a post-secondary institution at any age, the rights to the student's academic records belong solely to the student. And so what that means is, for CW purposes, we have to treat your student as an adult. And so because of that, we're only allowed to communicate and share our records with the student, and only the student, unless the student grants written permission for us to communicate with their parent or guardian. For our parents out here, this does not change your relationship with the high school. You can still reach out to your high school instructor or to the high school administration, and you want to ask, hey, how's my student doing in English 101? That doesn't change anything at all. But if you were to call and ask Central how my student's doing in English 101, that's where it changes. So just something to kind of keep in mind, that we have to treat your students as adults, even if they are not technically adults. Just another kind of reminder for students, with participation in our program, they are building a university transcript. While fulfilling their high school graduation requirements, these transcripts and the grades on their transcript are going to follow the student on their academic professional careers. So it's something for them to take in mind. I also kind of mentioned this earlier, but just students have access to all sorts of resources. We have an academic success center, a library, it's free tutoring. It's definitely a good idea for them to check it out if they realize they're struggling with the higher rigor of the course. And then, as I mentioned earlier, for students, they need to be aware of the registration and withdrawal deadlines and policies. A lot of times the dates that are set by our registrar's office do not align with the high school dates of like your spring breaks or your holidays or things like that. Sometimes there's some times where it aligns, but most of the time it doesn't. So that's just something else to keep in mind. I just have a few frequently asked questions that I often get asked. What if my student is struggling and they want to withdraw from the class? Obviously we have the deadlines there. If the student wants to withdraw, they can reach out to our office and we can kind of initiate that process with them. But we also do encourage students to, reach out and ask for help, go through the support, see if they, go through the tutoring or talk to the instructor and see if they have tutoring at the high school. The withdrawal should kind of be the last resort, at least in our eyes. But obviously if there's extenuating circumstances or things like that, we're happy to assist. Like I mentioned before, or the one question we get is often, what's the cost? There's no cost for your students to participate. So the only cost that will ever happen is that once the student wants to transfer their credits, there will be a fee to request an official transcript to be sent to their institution of choice. And then how do students transfer their credits? They're just going to log into their MyCW account and then request that official transcript be sent from the registrar to their college of choice. I will send these links out, but these are just kind of the important websites. We have our general website, which is that college-high-school one from CW. As I mentioned before, we have that cihs.cw.edu, which is our registration portal. So that's where the students are going to, sign up for their classes and get that parent consent. And then the student's permanent account is going to be where the students go to order their transcripts and check their grades and access resources. So that's pretty much all I have. Was there any questions that I can answer, or am I passing this on to somebody else?
Okay, thank you, Zane.
Okay, I think we're up.
Yep.
If I stand here, can you see? Okay, all right. I'm Lori Christmas, Director of Educational Partnerships at Great Summer College, also all things Learning Start. We're live with students from many schools enrolled in Learning Start. We're going to talk about it tonight, but always available to answer questions, phone call, email. It's nice and early. We don't even start registration until May. So we've got plenty of time for students to think about it and digest it and make decisions. I always appreciate coming out. We have several schools where we talk about multiple options for students. So I would say it's good to have options in life and to really think about what's the best fit for your student. And sometimes it's several combinations of those things. And with me tonight is Johnny Alvarez, who is our
Recruitment. My name is John Alvarez, recruitment admissions manager. So my job is the admissions process for Great College. I like to say, my job is basically when we first meet, whether that's here, at one of the Sunday markets, wherever, when we first meet up in the first class. So that's how to apply to the college, the transcripts you'll need, how to set up a meeting with the entry advisor, how to find your student email. And so that is what I'm here. General college in general, you're not worried with stuff. También hablo español, si alguien tiene algunas preguntas en cualquier idioma, aquí estoy para ustedes. Of course.
All right, we're going to cruise through this, but ask questions at any point. You don't have to save them up to the end. Here we go. So you probably know a little bit about Running Start. It's an opportunity for juniors and seniors to earn college credit while they're in school. And those credits count twice. So it counts for high school graduation credit and for college credit. Students can enroll full-time, part-time, again, some combination. And then we see this happen a lot with maybe a college and high school class, maybe a running start class or two. And we also have students who transfer into credits as well. Again, classes do count twice. Students can do online or on campus or some combination of those things. Juniors and seniors under the age of 21 covers a wide range there. We do have placement testing. We'll talk about that on a future slide. Homeschool students and students with a GED. Benefits, just like with college and high school, some of that free tuition is nice for students and their families. If a student is considering full-time running start, 3 classes each quarter over 2 years, so fall, winter, spring for the 2-year period. It's about a $10,000 savings at Grace Harbor College. So that can add up and is a nice savings for your student and your family. Can experience college goes quickly, which is good and bad, depending on how things are going for you. 1 college class equals a full credit or a full year at the high school. Varied course options. I'm always super impressed. Elma offers many class options for students. But sometimes it's hard for our really small schools to offer a class for 1 or 2 students who are interested. So you might find something at the college that's interesting to you or you really want to pursue that your high school doesn't offer. You can participate in clubs, activities, esports. Anybody gamer? No one wants to do that. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. Career exploration, and again, the option to either attend classes online. There are things to consider, and Zane touched on this a little bit too. So with Running Start, there is a lot of student responsibility. So you have to know when things are due, when deadlines are coming. Maturity, dedication, commitment, self-motivation, scheduling. When am I gonna make time for my paper that I need to research? When am I gonna do my homework? Because even if you're attending class, that's not work time necessarily. Depends on the class, but a lot of times that's lecture time and work has to happen outside of class. Socialization is a little different. Sophomores mostly in this room. Sophomores, junior, okay? So pretty much everybody in your grade is about your age. We do not have running start classes. We offer college classes. So you're gonna be the youngest people in your class. But there could be people, who knows? Your parents' age, your grandparents' age, you never know. We have people in college that are older, that are returning to enhance their education or pursue a different career. So just be conscious of that. I think we can all learn from each other. It's older people and fresh ideas and new things. But younger people can also learn from talking to older people who have different experiences. So I would say come with an open heart and an open mind. Learn some new things. We hope you do. We do operate on a quarter system. Vacations and breaks are not always aligned. We start school later. We have usually a little bit longer winter break. We offer a 2-week spring break, and then we end a little bit later than school as well. When's your last day of mission? Who knows? Take it a day at a time. I love it. We end June 20th this year, and then next fall we start September 23rd. So usually it's weeks after school. And then there are some costs, and we'll talk about that as well. We use placement. Already mentioned the active placement. If you take it here, then from Grace Harbor College or from another school, we can use those scores. We can look at those to see if they place you into college level English and college level math. You can also schedule to come to Grace Harbor College. Your school around? Yes. Okay. Some people have a snow day. Some people have a snow makeup day. I believe it's actually gonna snow tomorrow. And then some schools have conferences, so they are offering placement testing tomorrow on campus, just for Running Start students. A little soon, but if you're really excited, want to talk about that, I'm happy to share. Smarter Balance scores we also accept. So if you get a level 3 or a 4 in English and math on the Smarter Balance, we just need a copy of that. The school gets a report before you'll get that little piece of paper in the mail that has the as it shows up in the mail. So if you really wanted to use your smart amount scores, you'd have to ask your office staff or your counselor very nicely to get those numbers if you want to use those. We're also very fortunate with Elma. Anybody taking algebra 2 right now or higher? If you're getting a B or better, we just need a copy of your transcript. You don't have to take the math placement test. That just automatically goes. So you need just get English portion. No cost for that. We offer that separate. Questions on placement? Yeah.
It's being offered tomorrow here at the high school.
No, tomorrow, Grace Harbor College.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
fast.
I know. No, we're not quite that great at planning. I'm not anyway.
Thank you for clarifying.
Tomorrow, Grace Harbor. That's our preference. We'll have students show up tomorrow who have not applied and make them stay after the test and apply to the college. Because we're not going to work with the placement force. You haven't. So, yeah, we prefer apply first. Get informed, apply, that's. Let's see here, high school requirements. So the most important thing is to graduate high school. College credits are a bonus. If you want to fulfill a college degree, that's great. If that's your goal, we will support you in that goal, but that's not necessarily my goal for you. I want you to graduate high school. I want to enjoy being a teenager. I want you to enjoy education and not walk away after a quarter or a couple quarters and hate it. Okay, so completing those high school graduation credits is the most important. You need to meet with your high school counselor as required. You need to attend class meetings. Not maybe so much with juniors, but seniors just kind of go off the rails and they stop doing the things they're supposed to be doing, and you don't want to jeopardize not graduating. So super, super important. Check those emails, attend the things you need to get all of those senior projects done. High school and beyond plan, all that good stuff. Don't save it up until May, senior year either. No one appreciates that. Grades and GPA, do your best. We have lots and lots of support available. We have in-person tutoring, we have e-tutoring. We're part of a statewide consortium where you can schedule tutoring almost 24/7. Somebody said they ended up with a max tutor at like 5:35 in the morning because that was the time that worked for them. I could never do math at that time of day. It is college level work. Deadlines are firm. Sometimes there are extenuating circumstances. Contact me right away. Parent, if your student's not able to, contact me, let me know. I will reach out to instructors on your behalf. Otherwise, students, it's your responsibility to say, I got a little behind, what can I do? Contact your instructor. I missed a few days because I was sick, contact your instructor. I am going to camp and I'm gonna miss a week of school in a month from now. Contact your instructor now. Do not wait till you get back. Because they're not gonna allow you to break things up if you communicate after the fact, unless of course it is an emergency situation. We don't like those, but they do happen occasionally and people work on that. Classes are in sequence. If you don't pass English 101, you don't move into English 102. You have to get a C in English 101 to move into 102. Not a C minus, not a D plus, C or better, which you are all totally capable. And then if you do have an unsuccessful quarter, we have a conversation, maybe this is not the right time, and that's okay too. There's no shame in saying, it's too much, I miss my friends, I want to be more involved in the high school. No problem. We're happy to make sure you get back to the school to do what you need to do. Attendance, show up to class. If you have an in-person class, please, you're gonna be so much more successful if you're there. Plus you're gonna get tips and tricks and things that people who don't show up don't get, so that's really important. We have some 5-day-a-week classes on campus, that's usually math and science. We have some 4-day-a-week classes, Monday through Thursday. Students get super spoiled if they don't have any classes. And that would be history, humanities, which are like art, music, speech. All these things are offered fully online as well. We have some 2-day-a-week classes, so it's a hybrid. Maybe it's Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday for approximately an hour. And then our online classes are fully online. Most of them do not have a Zoom component, so this is where you have to be extremely motivated. Get logged in. And for our online platform, we use Canvas. If you happen to fall below a 2.0 GPA, we do, this is for all students, at Grace Harbor College, we do have academic standings. So if it's 1 quarter below 2.0, we offer you lots of support, and reached out to tutoring, about this, we're in counseling, all these things. Because we really want to support students to not continue on that path. And again, what did I say? High school requirements are the most important. If you're not passing a college class, you're not getting high school credit and that much credit. Parents and guardians and FERPA. We talked about the beast that is FERPA. This is exciting, gives your student lots of responsibility. It's a little hard for us parents sometimes to not be in the loop. So when students enroll in classes, I tell them, you are now responsible for your academic and financial records. It is also your responsibility to share out with the people who are important to you what's going on. Because typically, my experience with a teenager is if they're not telling you, there could be an issue, right? Okay. So please communicate out with your family. I do get to talk with your high school. I send schedules, they send me verification forms, I send them grades, we have lots of communication back and forth. If your school counselor contacts you as a parent about an issue, that is their choice, but I can't do that.
And the other thing I would point out is we don't know what the grades are because at colleges, we teach cyber at high school, so we guys all know what students' grades are. But at the college, we don't know, and so we don't know until the final grades are submitted to me. And sometimes there's surprises because we didn't know that there was. Another unique thing about Running Start is that when the students sign up, then they become like Lori said, the adult, and I, and or you can't withdraw them from Running Start. We can convince them to do that, but I mean, we can encourage them to do that if they're not being successful, but ultimately it is up to the student to then change their withdrawal or their status. So just keep that in mind. It's a little scary.
We had this conversation last night too, and we were in Aberdeen, and I have sent students to high school. First quarter, it's like, if you don't earn a credit in the first quarter, I would highly recommend you return to high school. And I know Bobby has that conversation with students as well. Sometimes the student's like, I want to try it one more time. I know what went wrong. You know, it sometimes it takes a quarter to get into the groove too, right? Like you're just kind of getting there. This is 7 years I've been doing the same job, and first quarter is always the lowest for students. So lots of students do great. Don't stress out. Don't worry anybody too much. But it's different. It moves fast. You have to know what's going on. You have to keep track of everything. And some instructors will give lots of assignments and maybe some extra credit sort of work and lots of little things along the way. Other instructors, you literally might have 3 things in a quarter that destroy your grade. That's stressful, right? Or your final paper is half your grade. So don't be sick. Don't have it be a busy time when you're super involved in athletics, right? Like don't get it all behind because that is a huge chunk of your grade. So if you're not getting an A or a B, you know, on that huge thing, it's really gonna lower the grade. So I always say, if you get up to the college, you're like, I really want to do Running Start. I've got the placement for it, whether that's Smarter Balance, your math grade, acupuncture, whatever. The work is not going to be. I'm fully convinced of this. This is not med school. It's primarily a two-year college. Okay, the work won't be too much. Then you have to stay on top of it. And you have to do it. Missing assignments and procrastination, biggest issue. And I think that's across the board, even as adults. I went back to school later in life and it was, yeah. If you did not get things done, you were like, oh, now I have a lot to do, so.
One of my favorite stories to tell is when I was at Western as a sophomore, I was sick for about a week for one of my science classes. And when you guys are in college, right, sometimes you have a seat buddy, right? You are sitting next to somebody, this person you sit next to all the time. And I was sick for about a week and I come in the next week, sit next to her, and I was like, hey, how you been doing? He's like, oh, I'm all right, hey, are you ready for the test today? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, our midterm is today. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. So right off the bat, a week gone, and the first day I come back, right, thankfully, I don't know, some miracle I was able to get a C on that test. But that's not a success, oh, you made it, that's more of a like, you know, missing out on that kind of stuff. So we encourage folks to go to class, and if you can't make it, reach out to your seat buddy, reach out to somebody you know in the class, reach out to the instructor like, hey, I'm not gonna make it, or for whatever reason, because, you know, even that week, or even those couple of days, you may miss a couple of notifications, or you may miss the material that's important. So go to class when you're supposed to. Like I said, that's not a story for me to that's more of a horror story for you guys to learn, but like, you know, there's to be there and like to be attentive, and that's the next level. It's not the work necessarily, it's the time management skills.
I always appreciate that day before a test that the instructor says, it's optional to be there. Show up, because they're gonna give you maybe some sample questions they're gonna be on the test. You're probably gonna get an extra thorough study guide to take home, but literally half the class won't show up. So you want to be there. If it's ever an optional day, we're gonna have some instructor time to ask questions, like don't ever not do those things. Super beneficial. Yeah, I'll send an extra credit first, because you never know what's coming. You get the chance to do it. Okay. We're done with the heavy stuff. Okay. Deep breathing. We're gonna be okay. Like I said, it is possible to earn a diploma and a degree at the same time. We're gonna take some careful planning, but we have lots of students who choose that path. We also have lots of students who don't. So maybe one class each for them, or maybe they come for junior year and you're in high school or senior year, or the other way around. So students start and start as seniors and not as juniors. So it's very, very flexible. I would say it's not cookie cutter, it's not one size fits all. When we do a lot of appointments, we meet with one student at a time for those. Family, you're welcome to come to those appointments. Ask all the questions you want, and then I was like, that's it for you. We want to make sure you're in the know and everybody's on the same page. I love that support. Always like good cheerleaders are super important for our students. So I like that. Associate in Arts transfers to a four-year university. We do have some other transfer degrees. We also have technology degrees. A lot of people, I don't know what I think when I hear technology. Maybe like computer technology.
Like computer science.
Our technology degrees are more of the hands-on skills degrees, welding, carpentry, automotive. So, and those are available for student transfer students as well. Anything we offer is open. We do have assistants, so in a little packet, hopefully you grabbed one or more. There is at the very back this really exciting white piece of paper that looks super official. It is. Looks really exciting. Yeah, it's from the state. It's legit. This is called the enrollment verification form. It's due every quarter. So the student, the first time when you come in to meet with me to enroll for classes, we'll fill this out together. You fill on the top, you know your name, your address, and your phone number and all that stuff. And actually, some of this stuff you know too. You know your high school, you know your grade level, and fill out as much as you can. The counselors are very busy people. They want this completed by the time it shows up on their desk. But right below the personal information, it says free and reduced price status. So if you currently qualify for free or reduced lunch or have any time in the last 5 years, you're gonna wanna check yes. And that is gonna waive fees, so the tuition is covered. Well, up to a certain amount, there's a little fancy table over here. It increased last year, so I don't know if anybody tuition. Because it's been increased. But fees are the student family responsibility, unless you say yes here, we do have another fee, or another waiver form. If you don't qualify for this, it's state or federal assistance, foster youth, and family chart. This is the easiest, just one piece of paper, one and that. Fingerprint, it's down the up. But if you have any sort of financial change in your family, if you have 2 incomes, then now you're down to 1 income, or someone's laid off, or, you know, things happen in families. Just let me know. Say, or your family situation's changed. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, pay for my books this quarter. I can sign the waiver form for any of you. And we don't need any special 27 pages of whatever tax returns. It's just like, yep, okay. We want you to be successful. We don't want finances to hold you up. This year, we got an extra book scholarship. So a lot of our students haven't paid anything, because normally it's half off on books. But we get new grants from the state, and some students haven't paid anything. So it's been really nice. And hopefully we'll get a renewal for next year. Anyway, this is important. We'll talk about it a lot. Workforce funding. So some students are eligible for workforce funding. They can't pay tuition, but they can help with textbooks. If you're in a medical assistant program, you need straps or a stethoscope or a watch with a 7-hand, like they can help you get that. If you're in the welding program, you need a welding helmet, you need certain shoes, we can help you get those things through our workforce funding. We also have other supports too. Additionally, students who need those, like childcare and other things. And then transportation, every student once enrolled gets a free bus pass if they need it, and a free parking permit. We chuckle about free parking in Aberdeen, Washington. But you wait till you get to a university campus. You're gonna spend a lot of money on parking, or you're gonna walk 2 miles.
The amount of parking tickets I've gotten is too embarrassing to tell here.
So that's gonna come for you someday.
They are, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
Questions on that? We do have summer running start this year. So I'm encouraging students to think really long and hard about if they want to spend 6 weeks in an online class. It does give you some flexibility because there's not a Zoom connected, you just have to log in pretty much each day and get your work done. But it is available, there's no cost for that. There will be fees unless you qualify for the free or reduced lunch, but the credits are free. And then some classes have textbooks. We can pay up to 10 credits for just 2 classes, but please be gentle on yourselves and you can just dip your toe into the pond and see how it feels. And College 101 is a really great choice. No textbook required, some college planning sort of things, but also they're gonna have you like thinking about your academic goals and your career goals and explore those things too. We start July 1st and we end August 10th. Sure. If you're interested, it would be this yellow form. I put it on yellow because I want summer to be sunny. That's my goal. And we can use this one for summer. This white enrollment verification form is for this year. We'll have a new one when students come to enroll with the next year on it. It shouldn't change much, but if you're interested, this checklist tells you in some detail about kind of what to do, apply, test.
For the summer, is that available for sophomores?
Yes.
We're going into
Incoming.
And can they take 1 class or more than?
They can take up to 10 credits. But I'm nervous about that, yeah. I would not pick English 101, I would not pick math, I mean, that is personal.
Is the college 101 class with that is being considered?
We also offer health and wellness in the summer, which is a health credit. It's not too difficult of a class, I think you're gonna learn things, but it's not really rigorous. We have some other ones too, and when I talk to students about classes, like we do better at things we enjoy. So if you have this love for environmental science, you're probably gonna do just fine in environmental science, even in a 6-week quarter. But if you really dread environmental science, please do not. Like, it's not worth the stress. When we do enroll, I didn't grab it, but there's like a lavender sheet where you can fill in classes. So if you're interested in Running Starter, after you apply, after you test, you would schedule to meet with your high school counselor. Don't just pop in and say, my registration appointment's tomorrow, I need to fill out. Schedule some time. And then together with your counselor, you can write in the classes you need for high school graduation. We like to do those things first. Let's get them off the list so you don't have to worry about them. Again, maybe not summer. Summer could be an elective. But starting in fall, most students take English 101. You haven't already done, or you're not doing through college and high school. A math class, if you haven't. And then something else you need for high schools, economics or political science or an art. How would English 101 was such great. But yes, let's get that stuff done. And then we start May 13th for enrollment. So if you've applied and you've tested and you've met with a counselor, you can email or call and we can put you on the calendar. I already have a couple people for May 13th. There, Nancy, yeah. Nancy pants, they want to get in there. I don't know why day one, but that's what happens. Plenty of time. Although we really want to know your intentions before school let out for summer, so your school can do. Again, you would come and meet with me, get enrolled, you get a copy of your schedule, you get a fun little packet of information, lots and lots of resources. And then we do a new student orientation the week before school starts, not scheduled yet, but that's an opportunity to come up to the college, take a tour, see the resources, get your student ID card, get your parking sticker and or bus pass if you need it. See where the tutoring center lives, go check out the student life lounge, they've been having case in there, I really liked that. You know, walk through the gym, whatever you want to do, see the esports, wow, esports.
Yeah, so it's true. It's where.
They have a name for it though, arena, I think it's the arena, yes. So yeah, you can check out all those really fun things and then be ready to start. Help and support. Adults are really smart. We are, all of us in this room. We are not mind readers. I mean, I don't have a master degree. So if you need help, if you're struggling, if you're falling behind, in any way, shape, or form, reach out. You know us. We're pretty friendly, we're pretty nice, you can talk to us. You know your counselors, you know your high school teachers, right? Your instructors at the college, in small classes, it's not an auditorium of 200 students, right? We'll run a class with 8 or 10 students. And our max is 25, sometimes 20. So it's personal. A lot of instructors say, call me by my first name, some don't, some want to be Dr. So-and-so. So be respectful of that, but if they're like, oh, just call me Lori, just call me Sue, just call me Johnny or Dave or whatever, that's totally fine. So once you enroll in college, you said we treat you like an adult, that means we're all in the same field, we're all adults, right? So we want you to be comfortable, but we also want you to ask if you need it. Make time to study, make time for your friends, I know students have lots and lots of things on their plates, working, volunteering, athletics, clubs, theater, rodeo, right? I mean, it's like, students are doing it all. They tell me, and I just get exhausted listening to all the things students are doing. So it's really important to schedule time, not just for studying and not just for school, but also to relax and do the fun things that you enjoy. And again, if you need any help or support or you're feeling overwhelmed, just reach out to someone. We'll help you, we'll get you some resources, we'll talk with you, go for a walk, whatever. And then there's all the contact information in here. This, how to access Running Start, comes from one of the state web pages. I just thought it was really interesting, about the questions. It says maybe consider these different things, to see if you as a student are feeling ready, or if you want to, I think I forgot some questions that you should need to ask people about. So happy to answer questions. Again, lots of options for education. Do what's right for you. Talk with people who know you about different things, and if Grace Harbor feels like a good choice, if Running Start feels like a good choice, go through the process, couple things to get done, and then meet with your counselor and get you on the schedule. Any questions?
And so we have one more option for students in the dual credit program. That's what we call all of this stuff is dual credit. We have available to our students Arizona State University. Our students can start as young as 9th grade, taking college credits through ASU on our campus. So either they're instructor led online or they are all. So that is another option for students, and that's ran through East Grace Harbor High School. I just went over there because it's mechanics right now. Mrs. Belden is the administrator in charge of Arizona State University. And right now, Mr. Lozelle is the teacher that provides support for our students. So pretty much there's a lot of classes that are available to students. Some have for start dates and end dates. Some are you have up to a year to complete. And then some are just on. So there's just a lot of options, and too many for me to go over. But I want you to know that Running Start, you have that option. You have college and high school classes on our campus, and you also have access to Arizona State University. So lots of things, lots of options. Do you have anything to add? Just wait a minute.
I think the social aspects that you brought up, it is very difficult to be a student on 2 campuses and feel like you are a true member in both of them. It takes extra effort. So one of the things that, of course, I like about my program is that it's a semester program and the dates match up. All your holidays are the same. All your, days off will be the same because you're here on campus. And the Central Washington University English 101 and 102 classes that I teach are the same courses that are taught in 11 weeks on campus. But here at the high school, they are 18 weeks, they're a semester long. So if you are one of those very busy people, there's a lot of in-class time to write your papers, to get your help that you need. It doesn't have, they recommend 5 to 10 hours a week of homework. But it's not that much when you're in, for example, my class, because you're getting 1 or 2 hours a week of time to work in class. And I also, I'm right there. I'm immediate feedback. And when you need help, it's not scheduling a time to go see your professor or emailing them. It's walking up to my desk with your Chromebook and asking me to look at something and give you help. So, it's a great option for if you're a little bit nervous about, leaving campus and being involved in all the different activities, and maybe you don't want as a junior, for example, to be completely gone from our campus. You want a transition year, college and high school for math and English, and maybe social studies would be an option that would work best. So, but yeah, we college. However you do it. there are little worries about how much money you spend and how many credits and how it might affect your future economic, let's say you get your AA degree when you graduate from high school. You are now, if you want to go to college, a university, you are now a junior. You need to declare a major and you need to be responsible for entering junior level classes. And so you got to think about what am I doing and why am I doing it and what works best for me. I encourage all of you students to talk to students in Running Start and talk to students in ASU and talk to students who are in my classes. And if you're thinking of, for English, and find out what the workload is, find out what they do. Some people will tell you something much easier than something else. But is easier really what you want? I want you to have the skills. Grace Harbor College wants you to have the skills that will transfer to your next class. That's why writing all those papers and meeting deadlines will help you when you get to your psychology class and you have to write a paper and you've already done it in English 101 and now you know how to do it and you feel good, I can do this. Where if you're in an online class and you're playing games all the time and not really paying much attention and doing the minimum amount of work, you may suffer down the road. So. Have to be mean.
Excellent points, now I know that. I was kind of scare people in these things. We want you to know and to be prepared. And we have lots of, I don't have numbers, but sorry. We have quite a few, Elma students who take a traditional high school class, college and high school, and one or two writing cert classes. It takes a little scheduling and like looking at times and stuff, but it's possible. And that way you stay connected with people. College will be there for eternity. You don't have to do everything right now. I don't want you to miss out on the experiences in high school or with your friends because, as far as you know, we don't come back and do this again, we do. And so I think it's really important to enjoy those moments and have those memories and not miss out on. So just, do a little soul searching and see what feels right. Our campus classes are usually 8 to noon. There are some exceptions, there's some science labs later in the day, but we tend to do morning classes on campus. And again, the online classes are flexible. And we do have some classes, that do meet on Zoom, so you would have to be available to be on. We've gone back to a lot of which I like. I better learn in classroom. I'm so introverted and shy. I like people to talk to, right? It's like slow word discussion, yes. Figure out what works for you. Any questions? We'll hang out.